Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Nick Bullitt, the engagement catalyst here at One Spirit, and I'm so excited to be sitting here today with Andrew Harvey. How are you?
Very happy to be with you, my darling.
Thank you. And is this what you're speaking about in terms of sacred activism?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Oh my goodness, I can talk for hours on sacred activism. Do you want the 2-minute
I want
version?
the 1-minute version.
The 1-minute version. Sacred activism is fundamentally Christ consciousness, but interpreted for the world. And at the heart of all of the religions is a vision of love in action as being the completing force of the human being. But what sacred activism is the marriage at the deepest level of the profoundest spiritual knowledge of reality with wise, inspired, focused, urgent action. Mystics have tended to abandon the world and relationship and the body and nature because they've been so impassioned for the light.
Right.
And that's their narcissism. And activists have tended to abandon religion because they've seen religion as a force of oppression, not knowing that at the core of all of the religions is mystical revelation, and pursued justice. And that's been a very noble pursuit, but very often, because they haven't done enough inner work, they actually perpetuate the structures of oppression. And also because they haven't connected their activism to the deep spirit. It can't be guided as deeply and richly as it needs to be guided by divine wisdom. And we've come to a situation where mystics, as we've known them, will go on praying and having their experiences while the world burns and not help the world change. And activists, as we've experienced them, will go on raging and blaming and burning out.
Yes.
And that won't help.
Well, with all of that going on, what do you see the role of the modern mystic being?
The role of the modern mystic is to do two things at the same time. To go far more deeply into the self, so that the self, the divine self, can be installed in him or her, and far more forward into wise, radical action, and to fuse the two. The modern mystic has to be, I believe, a sacred activist. Cannot just retire into mysticism as it's been known.
Right.
Needs to realize that the authentic mystic is one who knows the truth of reality and knows that reality is itself compassion in action. So if you're going to be a true mystic, you can't avoid being an activist, but it's a different kind of activist. It's an activist inspired by mystical knowledge and love, and also prepared to follow the great mystical laws of action. So
What's
the amazing
balance?
good news is
Right.
that if you fuse the best of the mystic, the ecstatic hunger to be one with the one, with the best of the activist, the passion for justice, which is one of the holiest names of God,
Yes.
then is born a new force which makes you a rebel of love in the world.
A rebel of love. I
Yeah.
love that.
So I am about the rebellion of love, and that's what I hope I am myself, but it's also what I try to encourage everyone else to be. And that, I believe, is the force that sacred activism is, and that, I believe, is the force that can help humanity mutate into divine humanity, even at this late moment. And that's why I'm giving everything that I have and am to getting it over.